Alright, so 17th of January. It's been a little bit more than 2 weeks after my last update on the bambusa lako, and it's actually stabilized pretty well. Like right now, actually for the first week or two, when it was raining a whole lot, it was raining like non-stop for about 10 days. This really tall one lost maybe close to about a third of its leaves because they just happened to turn yellow and fall off, and it just didn't have a lot of energy in the root ball, so it probably didn't have a lot of root mass to be able to sustain all the top growth. So it's been doing not so well. But what has been doing well is the shoot. This was actually about almost a 4-foot tall rising shoot, and I actually topped it off by about halfway. And right now it's grown a nice 3 branches. I used keiki paste too, which should have accelerated the growth rate, but as you see, some of these branches are already about 2 or 3 inches and they're already putting out leaves, so should turn out to be a nice bushy plant in another month or so. And actually my best division, actually divided all these except for this little one, just because it was so closely attached to this one. So if I took this one off, it'd probably not be too well for all of them, so I just left them together. But it looks like there's new bud growth at a lot of these joints, so yeah, it's elongating here. A little bit of chlorosis, but not an issue. I also applied keiki paste to all of these, and not sure if it's a keiki paste or if it's just growing, but you know, a lot of these buds are elongating. But I think keiki paste definitely helps, as long as you have enough energy stored up in these culms and in the bamboos themselves. And even on this long branch, it went from being in a shady spot to being in full sun, so definitely getting a lot of bud growth. But like on the sides, I also applied keiki paste, but it doesn't look like any of these are getting activated. And here's my little one. This one was actually not doing so well. It had a lot of mealybugs, so basically peeled off all of these sheaths and got them exposed, so if there were any mealybugs I could just kill them off by hand. And right now, all along these branches, there's a lot of buds, especially the ones that have leaves, because it seems like these leaves help in generating energy, and with the carbon flow, there's enough energy to make these buds form. Like this one right here, it's gonna turn to leaves in another week. It's already nicely developed. Whereas these, there are buds, they're swollen up a little bit, but not seeing too much change in them quite yet. But it's not an issue as long as I have some growth. Whereas in this big one, I really haven't seen any growth at all of new buds or anything. Like right now it seems to be kind of stabilized, but I'm hoping in the next week or two some of these dormant buds will actually turn active. I've already applied keiki paste to them, so they should be able to activate quite easily, but I'll just give it a little bit more time, and hopefully once new roots come down, it's gonna be able to grow a little bit better, and that's where this comes into play. Actually purchased this a few days ago. It's called C1. It's carbon 1. It's supposed to be a root stimulator, and it's supposed to improve the carbon flow once it's applied to the foliage, where it basically forces carbon dioxide to go in through like the leaves and foliage, and it goes to feed the bacteria by the roots, and that in turn feeds all the vitamins and stuff back into the roots to help get better growth. So it's supposed to get the roots to grow a lot better and generally get a healthier, faster growing plant. So I'm going to apply it probably right after this video and hope it gets me some results. And just looking at some of these other bamboos. This is bambusa vulgaris wamin, butterbelly bamboo. I tried applying some keiki paste to this to no avail. I don't think it's alive anymore. But I've also taken an air layer of this little branch. I'm not going to check until later on, probably wait another month or two. But once it's nicely established and has roots in the pot, I'll take it out. But just about a week ago, this thing was only about, like the tip of it right here, it was only right about, well, this top pot was maybe like an inch above it, but in a week it's basically at least tripled up in size, in height, and it seems like it's almost done growing at about, I'd say close to about 30 inches now. So I'll probably get to about 30 feet and taper off. I don't know how much more growth it has, but usually at this point it'll start putting out roots from here. And it was just one square chunk of roots and rhizome right here. But I'm surprised how much energy is coming out. But in another month, maybe by about the middle of February, this should be a really nicely pushed out plant. Even though it only has a few pretty small culms. And it won't develop the woody bellies probably until like a couple more. Let's get a little bit bigger for that. And here's some of my sacred Bali bamboo cuttings. Look like the ones that had a lot of culm mass but not a whole lot of root mass did horribly. I did apply, what was it called again? It's some type of anti-desiccant. It's, yeah, I sprayed something on here. It's called wilt pruf, yeah, wilt pruf. And it seems like it helped to some extent, but these guys, I'm not sure if they're going to survive or not, but it looks like these guys, it's actually starting to make new growth already, because there's not that whole lot of top growth, but there's a whole lot of roots on these. So now that I'm getting new growth, I'm actually pretty hopeful that these guys actually might survive. So I think more than half of them will survive. So yeah, yeah, some of them are done. Like, yeah, it's completely gone. Can't do too much about it, but can't win every time, so I'm okay. And the bambusa changi, some foliage here. But yeah, bambusa changi. On these, I didn't apply any keiki paste to it at all, but on the one that actually did, it looks like it's making a difference. Like right here, this is definitely making a ton of branches. So yeah, I think keiki paste definitely does work. Like I applied it on this plant too, on this culm. And then I also have my bambusa ventricosa, which was also taken from one large plant. I actually traded away one of the chunks, but yeah, this was like one big root ball with a ton of canes, so I separated it out. And after just probably a little over a week, just about all of them are making a ton of leaf buds. This is awesome. Yeah, I didn't expect it to come that quickly. It's literally a week. Like, it was infested with a ton of mites, but I sprayed them down with a lot of miticide, some insecticide soap too, and made sure I cleared out all the leaves. But it looks like every little piece I have here, like all of them at least have some type of bud growth, which is awesome. I didn't think it would happen so quickly. Well, maybe a couple of these pieces which did not have any root mass to start with might not have anything going yet, but won't be surprised if in another week some of these buds activate and everything takes. And also, about a week ago, I got this bambusa lako, and it was just one comb, which is about 1.5 inches in diameter. And basically took any piece which had buds or branches, and I first cut them into sections, and then I put some, I scratched up the combs, applied some rooting hormone to them, and then a little bit after, a few days later, I applied some wilt proof to it so it doesn't dry up so quickly. It was also infested with mites, so I cut off all the leaves and branches. And I'm not really sure here, but some of these buds might be in the process of swelling. I'm not really seeing too much in the way of like dieback, but I'm not really seeing too much change either. Some of these branches are kind of green, and they still look pretty thick, so I'm really hoping that I'll get some new leaf growth. And I'm not going to disturb anything until I actually see anything happen, but I'm really hopeful here, because yeah, especially this one. This is actually, it looks like it's a little bit swollen. I think there's a little change. So it's only been a week. Usually takes usually more than 3 weeks to actually show activity, but if I can get these from comb cutting, get them to root, that would be awesome. I'm not too greedy, so just a couple of them, a few of them to take, and it'd be awesome. I'm not trying to get a whole bunch of plants, but just the process of growing this stuff is a fun journey. And here are a few moso seedlings, or like seeds that I got from a friend, and looks like one of them, or yeah, one of them right here is actually making a shoot. So it'll be interesting to see, but I'm just doing this as a favor for a friend. Alright, well, that's my collection right now. And lastly, might as well take a look at my Dendrocalamus sinicus. And I planted this into the ground 2 weeks ago, actually on the 1st of January, so haven't looked at it in a while. Not sure if it's made any new shoots, but yeah, it still looks as solid as ever. I actually haven't watered it because it's been raining like crazy for the last 2 weeks. Oh, holy crap. Yes, this is definitely a new shoot. Well, yeah, it's already making a new shoot. It's not really extremely big, but that's definitely a good sign after you get a bamboo plant in the ground. There's a ton of ants, but I don't think they're really doing anything to it. So yeah, it'll be exciting in another couple of months to see if this bamboo in the ground keeps on upsizing.